What is the nitrogen leak testing pressure for 410A system on new installation?
Hello. I do not recommend pressure testing above 150 psig for leaks in a refrigeration system, even though some books or manuals written recommend it. Pressure testing by pressure drop method works wonderfully for testing systems filled with a non-compressible fluid such as water. That does not work to detect pinhole leaks in a gas-filled system at all if you are using the pressure drop method. It will detect a huge leak, but not pinhole leaks. Pinhole leaks are the vast bulk of the problems with leaks. Some writers who are not engineers or who do not understand the gas laws in physics get this confused. I have seen it in various government documents as well. You cannot find pinhole leaks in a large system by use of the pressure drop method. We can discuss that length if you need to. Underscore test pressures are stamped on the unit nameplate as such and must be carefully followed. You can pressurize a system to 150 psig with refrigerant and use an electronic leak detector locate the general area of any leaks, then a bubble solution to pinpoint the leak. That is how it is properly done. Some systems allow higher than 150 psig test pressures. If so, it's stamped on the nameplate of the system. The large cast steel compressor bodies are not built in many if not most cases to handle test pressures at the same pressures the refrigerant condenses at. Testing at those pressures has killed a few service people as the compressor bodies explode, or the oil sight glass blows out of the compressor. Compressor bodies see only suction pressure when operating. And only the pistons or heads etc. see the condensing pressure. The compressor manufacturers skirt this issue in some cases. http://www.emersonClimate.com/asia/nap/documents/refrigeration/fusion user manual.pdf see page 16 for Copeland's statement on pressure testing. They do not give a number, they refer you to the unit manufacturer's test pressures. Your service gauge manifold however must be rated to that same pressure range or higher. Many are not rated for such high pressures. A service engineer was killed a while back when the glass blew out of his manifold when pressure testing. Let me know what test pressures are stamped on the nameplate of the outside unit on your system. We can go from there without a time limit.
But when the unit is off, the 410A pressure would be around 200 pounds per square inch, but if it is running, the high side is easily goes to 350 pounds per square inch. What do I do if I did a pressure test at 150 pounds per square inch but when the unit run and the 350 pounds per square inch at liquid line push the refrigerant out of a hole?
The nitrogen atom is 1,000 times or more smaller than the vastly more bulky R410A molecule. This vastly larger molecule will not fit through microscopic holes that nitrogen will stream through almost unimpeded. Nitrogen is a single tiny element. R410A is huge mass of oxygen, carbon, hydrogen and fluorine atoms, all stuck together into a slightly spread out mass. The size comparison is something like a grain of sand versus a marble. If there is no nitrogen leak at 150 psig, there will be no marble so to speak leaking at any higher pressure. http://screencast.com/t/bwrd9 or 3tvgp7 That is a marked up chart of the various masses. There are only 2 nitrogen atoms in a pair that can leak. Shown by the red arrow. And a dozen or more of the atoms plus oxygen marked with the green arrows. And these are all spread out a bit like a tiny net, making it 1,000 times larger than a pair of nitrogen atoms. That is why we only need to leak test with dry nitrogen at 150 psig. However, internal pressure stretches materials and can create leaks, so that the manufacturer specifies his own test pressures according to what he has fit into his system. Let me know if this makes any sense on your end or not. We can go from there without a time limit. Please don't forget to rate my work, it's how I earn a living and it does not affect your charges. Thanks.
If you have a home improvement or appliance question and want to chat with an expert now, visit justanswer.com/ythi.